Hi everyone. Okay, YouTube probably gone mad because it's like someone else's music. So I'll turn it down a little bit. Okay, right. So what I'm doing is, I keep forgetting that I'm supposed to be like sharing, and I'm starting online courses. What I do is I paint with coffee, and originally it was actually in vegan organic restaurants, coffee shops, and I paint the coffee, and it really was my way out of or through suicidal depression. It was a real journey, but yeah, like the art really came through. Feels like it's not really me doing it, if you know what I mean, kind of that flow state stuff. So art therapy, it really is the healing arts, you can call it that. So this is just me sharing a little bit of what I'm doing. I'm working on a cat series. I've recently got into an art gallery actually. So I started only probably 2 years ago. Started drawing. That's when I was doing a bit of journaling, and I've always kind of written and utilised law of attraction, just written little bits, but I was going through a lot of transcendental journeys. So I was sitting in a coffee shop writing, and then started just drawing really. I was drawing a fox that I was inspired by in the day when I was walking in the woods, because that's so important to be in nature as well. And yeah, just happened to be the perfect coffee colour. I didn't buy any paints because, you know what I mean, I'm not an artist. So used the coffee, and then it went from there. And I've just done lots and lots of different creatures, and I really loved them, and it was really feeling like, yeah, each one that I was doing, you know, none of it was for the intention of selling ever. It was just doing it so I literally didn't kill myself, and yeah, it really helped a lot. So the purpose of these videos and what I will be doing is hopefully helping other people, and just maybe even as an example, just to say, yeah, doing something creative helps. It's imperative, in fact. If you don't express those things that are inside you, then yeah, things can start happening, can't they? It's like depression. It's to press oneself down, and you're the one doing it. Yeah, of course there's circumstances that contribute to it, but it's you that decides to hold yourself there. So you can choose to also let go of that. But it is a process. It really is a process. It's taken me, it's been a couple of years worth of, yeah, a lot of looking at myself, a lot of, oh man, just mental actually. I'm gonna have to start doing some videos where I just talk about, like, backtrack, and some of the times when you just be driving, listening to a song, and then start, you know, crying in bits, you know. That's one example. I'm sure a lot of people have that. But anyway, the tool's out. Yeah, spending time in nature, taking back your health. I was also a personal trainer for a while, fitness coach, personal trainer, and I went really heavy into that, bodybuilding and all that. And yeah, having to repair the body after putting it through so much, that in itself is a whole thing. And it's also you have to ask yourself the question, why am I doing this stuff? Why? What am I getting out of it? Ego, jealousy, envy, or real pure enjoyment? And if you push yourself too far, yeah, there was a lot to it. So anyway, I'm just drawing, and I'm sitting here drawing like I have been for about, I don't know, half an hour or so. And I start off with a pencil sketch of a picture that I like, that triggers some form of emotion in me. And this is really beautiful. A little girl kissing a big bad lion. I think when you play with your cats and stuff, sometimes I think, oh, if only I was bigger, I would just straight up bite your head off. But they can't, because they're just little tiny cats. So I think this is symbolic of that. And yeah, my beloved family cat recently died, and yeah, interesting, because you knew that day was coming. You know it's coming, and then it comes, and you're like, whoa. And then it's okay to not feel as bad as you thought you would. You go through your release, you feel that, you go through the grief, and then by utilizing what you understand so far about the universe, how life after life is life, that's why it's called the afterlife, and how consciousness continues, and you will call them back to you when it's time, and the whole process, the life itself, is perfect. And yeah, maybe you could have spent more time together, maybe it wasn't necessary, and you just have to own and pay homage to all of that. So these cats, the recently, the same time, as we're going through Leo moon season, these cats really came through, and that with her, and they are just teachers, aren't they? Animals are balancers of energy. That's what they're here literally to do. They're balancing energy. Humans have got this tendency to want to kill things, and it's like, okay, the animals come in and go, well, okay, we will be part of that for you. The aggression that you'd see in some kind of creature like a lion is just a mirror reflecting back to us. So I imagine that when we stop being that way, they'll stop being that way towards us, towards anything maybe. Yeah. So yeah, back to the point, whatever that is. I'm just sharing what I'm doing. I don't even know if you can see, actually. I'm new to all this. But there has never been a better time, right? To start drawing. Give it a go. There's another thing about art, which is, and I was asking these questions a lot, like, what is art? I mean, when you have that whole, well, that picture of shit, and you're like, well, what is art anyway? And then you see other things, and you're like, well, that's just a dot on a piece of paper, but it's classed as art, and it is in the eye of the beholder. And it's also down to the belief of the person in a lot of ways, unless the artist has died too and then get famous or popular after that. So let's not have that one. In this age, it should be conscious. We're here to be conscious creators, so just choose it. So yeah, I would like to do something like that, so I'm just going to do it, right? There was a period in my life when I became a drummer, when I was going around to nightclubs, smashing out the bongos. The interesting thing is that I hadn't actually played bongos before, ever. I was just jamming at this one gig. I was playing some trumpet there. I think it was classed as a Kanye West after party or something, somewhere in Birmingham. And me and my mate were going down. He was playing on the vibes. Vibraphone, by the way, if you don't know what that is. And I was playing on the flugelhorn. To some people, these sound like made up words, but they're not. So yeah, we played that. And then I was jamming on his conga, and this guy goes, I want you to come play my club. Like, I don't actually play the drums. He's like, I don't care, I want you to come anyway. I was like, alright then. So I borrowed the drums, went down, played the gig, boom, started there. Just go out. So yeah, I reckon I can go and do that. And it was easier than playing trumpet, because you've got to think about what you're playing then. And I don't mean negative to drummers and all that kind of stuff, and you know what I mean? It's not a diss. I just mean to improv over stuff on the flugelhorn is hard, and I am not equipped for it. So anyway, I went into these, started getting gigs in clubs, smashing out the bongos, learn on the job. Ended up putting some lights in there, and yeah, it was good actually. But the point is like, if you want to do it, you just start doing it. And it's practicing and playing any instrument. The difference between the two, I mean, yeah, there's different degrees of how good you are, but when you're practicing, you are playing, right? So I wouldn't necessarily separate the whole thing. So if you say I want to do art, then just start doing it, and whatever you produce will be art. And if it gives you any amount of peace, and I mean if it gives you 1 second's worth of peace compared to where you're at, then it is absolutely and totally worth it. But you might get more than that, and you might also come out with something that you're really proud of, and then other people, when they see it, will be like, wow. And it helps them in some way, or even just makes them happy for a split second, I don't care. What are we really? We're emotional state changers. You know, as a musician, the most etheric of all forms, we change people's emotional states, and we're all doing that all the time. And that's real true power, isn't it? Not power over someone, it's just to be able to facilitate change. And let's set the intention that we want any change to be positive for everyone, all of the time. And that is our choice. We can either react to life, or we can create. It's all happening for you, directly for you, you see. And when you connect to that whole creation idea, the creation of God, whichever God you want to call, because it doesn't matter what your perspective of what you call God or creation, that's totally and utterly unique to you. That's it, full stop, end of. Doesn't matter how many other people claim to be in the same religion, it's your perspective. So when we go out of the individual biases and we connect to creation, from that we all spawn, and from that we have the power to choose how we see it, how we choose to see it, how we want to look at it. We are the ones who choose that. So take information and then see how it makes you feel, and then choose. Oh yeah, so what I'm doing, found a picture that I like and inspires emotion. I've done a pencil drawing, and it's just a real light sketch around the most prominent parts as I see them, right? So here, really simple. And what I like about using watercolor pencils is you can do it kind of rough, and then you'll start to thicken it out later on. So it is like kind of really rough sketch, and then just knowing, trusting, having faith, hoping, but yeah, that it's going to turn out all right. So yeah, nice and rough. You get the main bits in, and then after that, yeah, I'll add a bit of water. I will put some coffee on. With some of them, I start off with coffee. With some of them, I don't. It just does depend. With this one, it feels like the most important parts are the dark bits. And remember, all relationships are there to shine a light on your dark bits. That's what it's there for. There to teach, there to help, there to assist you to grow. So you should definitely bless them all, no matter how they turn out. Shine a light on my dark bits. So anyway, I'm going to continue with this drawing, and I reckon what I should do, you know, to be nice of course, is once it's more completed, I will put up another video. This will be my first video recording directly on YouTube. It will be my first video really talking about a lot of the things that go on and on and on and on in my head over and over and over again. And I think it's better out than in, and seeing as we are in a global pandemic, you know, maybe the world will end as we know it. I hope so. So we can get on with what we're here to do, right? So sharing is caring, and here is my contribution, and I will get better, and I will keep going, and I will help more people. Art is a great medium, it's a great link, it's a bridge. To start off with a blank piece of paper and then end up with something, yeah, it's an achievement for sure. And we should play. We don't need to work, let's play. So anyway, this is just a little bit of me. So if you've been watching this video, then thanks. I really appreciate that. It makes it much more worthwhile, I guess. But this is what I'm doing. I'm doing this anyway, so I'm not doing it because I need people to be there. That's not the case. But if it does help someone to do something, then that's enough. Okay? Alright. Peace out, peeps.